Hello everyone, Maryann here, revealing light, tarot, astrology and spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Thanks for joining me this morning. I've got my fingers crossed that I'll have no recording difficulties. I thought I might not have had enough storage in the last time I read. I've got plenty of storage. I don't know what happened. Let's just chalk it up to Mercury retrograde. In any case, I want to start today's reading. We're having, depending on where you are in the world, you might have already experienced the eclipse, but we've had on the 29th, 30th of March, we've had an eclipse in Aries again. And it's been fairly potent, if you like. Anything like me, it's been, I've actually felt as a clairvoyant and someone who is connected into universal energies, well, we all are, I have felt a profound shift. And it doesn't matter where you look in the world, there's change. If we go to the US, there's still massive protests against the oligarchy there. And, you know, you're starting to see headlines now is Trump's term collapsing. Of course, he's come out talking about a third term. Foolish talk. Obviously, it's never going to happen. The people in America wouldn't allow it to happen. The Supreme Court wouldn't allow it to happen. The military wouldn't allow it to happen. I believe that is simply another example of his cruelty, for start, to try and raise the fear vibration, but also to deflect on what's happening at the moment. And of course, the signal, the breach, very serious breach of security, all our security. It's not going away. We're still finding out. I said it was the tip of the iceberg, where a journalist was roped in or was called into basically an attack plan when the Trump government attacked an attack on Yemen. That's not going away. I said it was the tip of the iceberg, and it is. We're now finding out that they use that. We've got the full chat now, the full conversation. Such derogatory way they were talking about Europe, and we know now that this is just one of many security breaches. The Defence Secretary brings his wife to security briefings with the UK government. So, you know, as I said, we're going to find out more about how they've used Signal. And of course, the reason that they use a commercial app is to avoid record keeping, because after a certain amount of time, the conversations are deleted. So, more to come yet on that. My prediction was he does eventually, that his security advisor, Walsh, stands down. Let's see if that happens. Anyway, if you want to see my last reading, please go ahead and have a look. So what are we going to do today? We're going to talk about whether or not his term is actually collapsing. We're seeing these town halls in Republican-held districts. I'll get to that in a minute. It was inconceivable 6 months ago or 12 months ago that Democratic elected reps would go in to Republican districts and hold town halls instead of the Republicans who refused to show up. But this is where we are. So we'll also look, because I know some of you are fearful about whether or not this third term talk is actually real. Unfortunately, around the time of eclipses, you will see, I've talked about this before, it's very much concerned with kings. You might see the death of a king, a leader, a king-like presence. We've found out over the weekend that King Charles is really on ongoing permanent treatment for his cancer, which is really coming from a cancer survivor myself, to think that I would be on permanent chemo, which stage 4 cancer sufferers are, is incredibly sad and tragic. And no matter what you think of the monarchy, you don't want people to suffer. And so because this eclipse, you usually feel the effects of eclipses for about 6 months afterwards. I want to see if King Charles is going to step down in favour and hand the throne to Prince William, the Prince of Wales, Prince William. So we'll take a look at that. Perhaps that's what he intended to do, but has been hanging on to give Prince William's wife, Princess Catherine, a chance to recover from her cancer treatment as well. So we'll take a look. Also, I talked about many moons ago, I talked about Putin's assassination. I saw a black car being involved in this. Over the weekend, we found that a bombing attempt wasn't an attempt. His official car was involved in an assassination attempt. Putin wasn't in it at the time, but this is highlighting Putin's tenuous, if you like, grip on such a volatile Russia. With many factions, and he's now arresting oligarchs. So we're starting to see that he again is trying to stop any attempt to remove him from power. We'll revisit his whether he'll be assassinated, because that prediction's still going to hold. That's the way he's going to go out. So we'll take a look at that. And then I want to talk about the eclipse energies. They're so potent. The eclipse is very much about the endings and new beginnings, because it's taking place in the stellium of planets in the 12th house and the first house. The eclipse is in the first house in Aries. So Aries is new beginnings, and Pisces is when we take all our learnings and we start to create a new and different future. This isn't so different to my world predictions for 2025, where I said we will start to see the fall of the oligarchy and people power rise. Wow, elbows up, Canada. Mark Carney, the Prime Minister designate, I think that's what they call him, pulled off a massive win against bully Trump. And we see Trump now not talking about the 51st state anymore, and showing Mark Carney and his government and the people of Canada a modicum of respect. Too little, too late. No going back now. All right, so we'll get started. Also, just want to revisit my earthquake and tsunami predictions in the South. I thought it was the South Pacific, Southeast Asia. We know, of course, a 7.1 earthquake in Myanmar, and now there's a tsunami warning for Tonga. So this is very much in my part of the world. I didn't think it was Vanuatu, but I said it's in this Asia Pacific region, and it would be followed by some sort of tsunami. And so that's, I was pretty specific about location. Unfortunately, that appears to be what I was seeing. I hope there's nothing worse, or I wouldn't say worse. We've got the death toll climbing for the earthquake. I think it's in the thousands. There's 1,000 odd people, and it's still an ongoing process. So a very tragic event. All right, let's get started. I'm using the old style tarot. It's a bit of a fascinating deck. I'm going to give it. It's a new deck, so I'll give it a bit of a whirl. And the what is it? I've forgotten the name of the deck. It's not Hanson Roberts. Morgan Greer deck, I think. Anyway. And if we've got time, I want to pull some cards for the eclipse from the Shaman's Dream Oracle. All right, let's get started here. All right, are we seeing Trump's term collapsing? It's a headline that you will see on many liberal type podcasts. It's a headline we're starting to see more and more of. What can you show me, please? What can you show me about Trump's term? Okay, so they're gambling. I'm seeing someone standing around a Russian roulette, a gambling table, and they're spinning the dice or die, and they're hoping for something to be paying off, but the wheel is just spinning. And so the gambles that they're taking at the moment are not yielding what they thought might be yielded. Tariffs were certainly on the card, so to speak, in Project 2025. However, not to the extent. Trump seems to be using them as a measure of bullying and cruelty and threat and fear. And of course, we're starting to see the American economy take its tumble, as I've been predicting now for about 6 months. All right. Are we seeing the Trump's turn collapsing? It's not yielding what they thought it would yield. They overreached, and that was my first reading post-election, that there would be this incredible overreach and failure. So we've got the Six of Swords. Now, that's an interesting card, moving out of troubled waters. So I've talked also about the seed of truth and clarity already being planted there. I think we're starting to see an evolution of change, and I don't mean for a change of solidifying Trump's power. It's actually people power rising, and again, that's all over the eclipse. That signature that people are using their voices, using their protests, using their an outcry to demand more. Doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on. We're all singing off the same hymn sheet. So is Trump's term collapsing? So we have here the Seven of Cups, and of course, Neptune is still in Pisces at a very potent anaretic degree. Any illusion or delusion is starting to make itself clear, and the choices. If you're spinning a roulette wheel, you're not actively making a choice. It's just stirring things up without any real kind of foresight or strategy in a way. Well, there might be a strategy there to stir things up, but this is about smoke screens. This is about people. Also, Neptune in Pisces during this eclipse, we get to see through our third eye as well. We get to to activate our intuition. And Neptune going into Aries now, it's like we're taking our intuition, we're acting on it, and Mars in Cancer at the moment is really helping us to propel our action forward. Defending oneself. Okay, so he is having to defend against this. Against people waking up. It's the emotion. You see the cup being poured into the third eye, the emotion, the feeling, having to defend himself. You're seeing that right across America in those town halls. The Six of Cups is at the foundation of the reading. It's past. It's also our higher self. It's going, I don't even want to say back, but it's taking the memory of, we know what has been good for us because of the past and its lessons. We know what works and what doesn't. That's called accumulated wisdom. And it seems to me that is at the forefront now, that people are using their own wisdom, their own higher minds. The Ten of Pentacles is in the past, legacies and inheritances, people's savings, and of course, being in the past, it's like the security has gone. And people are realising that whether it's an attack on social security, whether it's the system falling down and an oligarch saying, well, so they have to wait for a payment, big deal. That's not going to, people, what an absolutely, can't think of a word other than bath, which is, wanting to be sick. That Musk would say something like that. This insecurity now that people are feeling. And then we have the Four of Cups in the sky. Disappointment, 3 cups lost, but 1 remaining. And it's interesting with this Pisces card here. The cup of water is being poured into the third eye. What is our cup that is remaining? It is the action that we have, the divine action that we have, the agency, the divine agency that we have. And I feel that's what's in this cup. And so expect to see more. It's like when I opened up for this reading this morning, I just saw huge energies swirling. And I feel that, and I know you do too. It's about change. This is how change occurs. The Eight of Pentacles in the near future. We are learning, it's the Apprentice card, but it's honing one's skills as well. We're learning to do that in adversity, all of us. We kind of wake up every morning and we go, well, this world that we sort of took for granted, is that still going to be here tomorrow, or is something really going to blow up? It's in a period of insecurity you start to draw upon skills. And, when people step forward with the right skills at the right time, it's called opportunity. I think we're all finding our feet, finding our voice. And there's a learning going on. And so as much chaos has been unleashed, they're learning their boundaries as well. Is his term collapsing? The Six of Pentacles, debt. Uranus in that eclipse chart I'll talk about shortly. Taurus rules the second house in the zodiac. Uranus in Taurus still. Expect the unexpected, where your security is occurring. And of course, Trump describes the Taurus as Liberation Day, but we all have evidence that it's not Liberation Day, that it is hurting. It's hurting everyday people. And the Nine of Swords, the anxiety to have oligarchs and others. There was a Republican leader in, I think it's lieutenant governor in Virginia. Well, we all lose jobs. Who cares? Like, this is how people are feeling. I mean, honestly, you'd have to be blind not to see it's not even ridiculousness of it. It's unbelievability of it, like that they could be and speak so. Anyway, they're all getting reality checks in the hopes and fears. Of course, we have the Five of Cups. And so this is really a measure of how people are feeling. We have the Star card. In the outcome, we have hope. Is his term collapsing? Well, I think there's an equalisation process going on for him. They will start to back off certain things. They will start. Musk has already announced he's leaving in May. Get him out now. He's just about crying on camera about his fortune. We have abuse of power occurring. Is it collapsing? Bombshells happening all the time. And we have the Four of Pentacles, the economy. It's the economy, money tightening up even further. So why is the Star card here? Well, number 17. It's about learning, and it's about lessons, and it's about wisdom, the getting of wisdom. So it's clarified by the Five of Swords. So will he get that? Well, who cares if he doesn't? If his government doesn't? because he's going to kept being hit and hit and hit again until he wakes up. And of course, it's interesting that he does not speak about Canada anymore as the 51st state. What did it take? Mark Carney stood up to him. Canada, through Trudeau, built pipelines to the coast, and all they do now to export their oil to China, which they've ramped up. They've chosen China as a market instead of the US, and they're exporting to China straight from the pipeline that Trudeau built, and so Carney is accelerating this innovation. What is that? Why does the US need their oil prices? Well, it's a complicated thing, as you know. It brings down the cost of oil for consumers, Canadian oil. So that's why they need Canadian oil. They have to keep there's in reserve, and there's export. The whole oil market is like a little bit like dominoes. I don't understand it. But certainly Canada not selling oil to the US will have an impact on consumers. And we get the Six of Swords, which is coming up quite frequently, isn't it? Moving out of troubled waters, loss and decision-making and justice is very much in the frame. So you can see how all these imagery and symbology is working to capture the energies that we're seeing right now. Is his term collapsing? Well, how do you define collapse? People power is growing. People's voices are becoming louder. Doesn't matter which side of the aisle you vote on. There is so much unrest at the moment, and so much anger at the way that the chainsaw was taken to the American government. You reap what you sow. It might be a nice idea for Trump to remember that he too reaps what he sows. Okay, all right. He's talking about a third term. I mean, oh my God, he's lucky going to. As I said, I never see him finishing his term. By the time that 2028 comes along, there's a lot of damage there, and voters will not want to inflict more damage. So this is just talk. Because he didn't do a consecutive second term. I mean, really, it's not going to pass muster. It's very clear. Okay, why is he speaking about this? Is this real? Is he thinking about is his talk about a third term real? Is his talk about a third term real? He's it's almost like he's a child, like a toddler, expressing things that a toddler might doing things that a toddler might. This is kind of anger at how he perceives he's been treated. Things not working out for him, so let's inflict some fear and cruelty upon people, upon the Liberals. Let's own the Liberals. So is this just an attempt to own the Liberals? It's a power move, but I just saw a bird come in and shite upon the. He's holding up the Congress as it's like a toy building, in the White House, toy buildings. He's holding them up. Look what I've got. Look what I've got. And a bird just came and shat upon it. So it tells me that this playing with toys is just that. Okay, so let's talk about, is he really serious? Is this a real threat to run for a third term? I'm sure people are out there planning it, but we get the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords and the Eight of Swords. Oh my goodness. So it's definitely a fear move, but the Ten of Swords suggests that his time is coming to an end. Ooh, what a graphic card. Okay. Eight of Swords suggests there's a phantom. It's a fear tactic to say that his term is not going to end, it's going to keep going. The Eight of Cups is loss, walking away from loss. The Sun card is in the past, so happiness, joy, life affirming, All of that's in the past, okay? And he does not like that. If you're not happy with me, then I'm going to make you unhappy too. Six of Swords in the sky, moving on, moving out of troubled waters. You see the mother and the child here, new beginnings, heading to new shores. Transiting as well. The Empress card, abundance or lack of it. A season of time. We have the Seven of Wands in the here and now, defending oneself. The Eight of Wands, the headlines, the news, things moving very, very quickly. He doesn't like that. Hopes and fears, him, his identity, him being the King of Pentacles, the businessman. It's in the hopes and fears. So this is a fear tactic. Three of Cups, circles of support, celebrations, and then we get the economy, holding back insecurity. So, yeah, right, okay. Then we get my card for the Democrats reunions and the Ace of Pentacles. So what this is about is also grifting. He can, he'll still ask for money, but he can't. It's like he wants to throw the meat out there to his base, but it's a manipulation in a way, getting them on board, a deflection, getting support, people to support him, and trying to give people something to look ahead to. But of course, what's in the frame right now is Three of Cups. And then we get the economy and the downturn in the economy. So it's connected directly to the financial news coming out of the US at the moment. It's a deflection. Okay. All right. Given the signifier cards were the Ten of Swords and the Eight of Swords, it's unlikely. It's not real. It's not real. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at King Charles. Let's have a look at the King. Are you going to step down soon? What do you want to show me? I'm seeing a new coronation. Not immediately, but it's planned. It's being planned. Oh gosh, yeah, there's a new coronation coming up for Prince William. The only reason that it's not accelerated is because of Princess Catherine. She is not quite ready yet to take on those queenly duties, and her face is sort of not in the frame. I can see Prince William fairly clearly. King Charles, are you going to step down? King Charles, are you going to pardon me, step down? King Charles, are you going to step down? Pardon me. Page of Wands, a young person starting, and the Ace of Swords, the truth. Four of Pentacles, yeah, they're not quite ready yet, but the signifier cards would show me that the young person is starting a new journey, and the Ace of Swords is a new king. Ace of Wands, it's being planned in the past for some time. Look at the green shoot there. And the Knight of Cups is a handover in the sky crowning this reading. And then we get the Two of Cups. Yeah, it's already been done. It's already been planned. In the here and now, we have the ending of a cycle. I mean, that's an awfully graphic card. There, the grey clouds above Charles's reign. But he's in his wisdom, of course, that's in the environment around. It's also, I think, the King of Cups. It's a water sign. That's him. So he's displaying wisdom in setting all this up for continuity of the monarchy. Seven of Cups in the hopes and fears. Again, tapping into the choices he's made or is making. The Seven of Pentacles. I don't think he wanted to abdicate anytime soon, but it's suggesting that if one plan doesn't work, we need to go to plan B, and so the planning for Prince William's ascension is very much underway. Very much underway. Yeah, absolutely, and it won't be left for him, I don't think, to die on the throne. There will be a handover, and pretty orderly one at that, because he's struggling to fulfill those duties, and he's struggling with the High Priestess a little bit more than what we're seeing. And here we see his decision and the new king on the horizon. It's a strength. He wants to preserve the strength of the past in the monarchy, and I think when he does announce his stepping down, the country will greet that with positivity, I think. This is, again, about the continuity of the monarchy in England. So absolutely expect a decision or an announcement. I'm not sure. We're getting the Two of Wands, something coming to fruition in time, in the Page of Cups. Could even be this year. Let's see. Anyway, I expect an announcement in the not too distant future. All right, Putin's assassination. Let's see. The attack on his car, his official car. He was meant to be in it, of course, according to the assassin. He's now arresting oligarchs again, so we see the Putin playbook coming into the frame. That it's a demonstration of power, because when he does that, we know that his power is threatened in some way. So Putin's assassination, I predicted it all these years ago. What can you show me about Putin's assassination? What can you show me? What is that? Okay, so again I get the church, the head of the Russian church here. He's putting on his cap. It's a big, tall cap with jewels and things on it. It's an odd image to get. And then I'm seeing people standing around. Okay. I'm wondering if he sort of has a heart attack down the line where it's not really a heart attack. And I don't know why I'm seeing the church, the head of his church, in the frame. People, there's a great deal of financial trouble in Russia. People have their hands out, kind of, almost for food. I know there's not food shortages, but monetary shortages, high inflation. And it's almost like I see his heart, and people are putting that aside, as if to say he no longer has the wide support of the people. Okay, will Putin be assassinated? Timing is fairly fluid with the tarot. It's not a precise measurement or instrument or scientific kind of thing where you can say, okay, within, he'll be assassinated next month. Let's see. Putin's assassination. I keep getting that church leader there. Will Putin, I don't know why. Again, I'm picking up the papal energy as well. So let's not confuse the two. There's a message, obviously. I haven't predicted about the Pope because obviously he's an unwell man and obviously he's going to pass away soon. But I'm getting those images as well. All right, Putin. Let's go back to Putin. There's going to be a lot of change within the next few years. A lot of change. the world. Don't think you've got, you know that the far right's going to rise in Europe and Putin's going to solidify his power and keep going like he goes, and Trump is going to still be here in 4 years. Don't assume any of that, because this is a very changing world. Will Putin be assassinated? Will Putin be assassinated? Okay, so we get the Four of Cups. A lot of disappointment there. And the Four of Wands. This is about the Russian people. They're disappointed in the way things have gone. We get the Victory card at the heart of the reading. This is why he desperately wants victory in Ukraine. A crossroads has already been. There was a crossroads. Is that why he started the war in Ukraine? Or was this the American election and the election of Trump? Well, of course, he's ignoring Trump now. He's breaking any ceasefires, talks that he might have. He's making a fool out of Trump, and Trump is not pleased with him. So we have here the Two of Pentacles. This is decision time, holding, trying to balance things, juggling, taking on too much, and we get someone losing their head there. The Hierophant. Government. That's the kind of the papal energy. That's what I got. Would he be assassinated? The Hierophant, the government, a higher authority. There's the leader of the church. These are the images I'm getting. Betrayal, the Three of Swords, heart, betrayal and loss, and the Ten of Swords. Wow. Is he in deep, dark water right now? I don't care if you're hearing about it or not. He is. The Nine of Swords, hopes and fears. There's a lot of anxiety in Russia and a lot of poverty. And the Nine of Pentacles, that's why he's also arresting the oligarch. Of course, he is the head oligarch, but the people have nothing. And we have the Tower card. Okay, I'm not... he's looking at ways to get out of this financial mess he's in. Four of Swords, ill health, and the Judgment card, retreat, and it's inevitable. Again, this overreach, this miscalculation, the war in Ukraine, not going, the massive deaths there, the Russian debt, finances, and the Death card. Always the same in Russia. Always the same. The people don't have anything, and so the downturn in the economy and the living standards, and then you get a revolution, and that's the kind of energy I see at the moment in Russia. So don't assume that Putin will still be there. I think he's got also health issues. The more I look at him, the more I see. Okay, let's just quickly look at the Eclipse energies, and then I'll pull a Eclipse card for us. Okay, so we have Saturn, and for those that don't say, oh, I don't know astrology or whatever, you don't have to. We're at 38 minutes. You don't have to stay for this. But for those that are interested, let's see. So we have Saturn, the North Node, and Venus and Neptune all conjunct in Pisces, all at the getting ready to transition into Aries. And so we have Neptune. Neptune is very much about creation. It's very much about what we dream, the kind of subconscious, how do we get to our goals? Well, they all start in the subconscious. They all start with our intuition. And so Neptune being at 29 degrees of Pisces, which is the anaretic degree, the most potent degree there, it's transitioning, of course, into Aries. And so what have we been dreaming that we want to bring into action? Neptune can also reveal, moving into Aries, can also reveal where we've been disillusioned, where we have not seen the woods for the trees, where we have been unrealistic. All of that is coming up in events as we see them now. but also the truth of our choices is being revealed as well. And so it's now it's all out there, that Ace of Swords that keeps coming out. We all know now, one way or another, and that's why in the US you're getting the Republicans trying to bang on the door of their own party and their own government and their own reps and being so angry. I've seen those meetings and they are furious. And so it's sort of like the judgment, the judgment card, very karmic, really. If you've been doing the work, if you've been producing the results, if you've been keeping good faith with your constituents or the people that you're leading, then you should be fine. But if you haven't, then we start to see the reality start to bite, and that's what we're seeing. And this is how change occurs, and we get newness and freshness coming through. We have Mercury at 0 degrees Aries, which of course it's passing over the world point, 0 degrees of Aries, which is Mercury is a planet of communication. This is fresh, new beginnings. And so we're seeing new ways of communicating. We're seeing protests, of course, with Pluto in Aquarius. Protests, people power. There is a sextile going up to a flowing energy going up to Pluto in Aquarius all across the world. If you're not doing the right thing by the people that you're governing, then expect to hear it, because we are rising. The Tesla takedown protests, of course, have been very effective in the US. Who would have thought, we're talking about new ways of communicating and aligned with people power, who would have thought to see an opposition party go into the territory of the governing party and basically hold town halls and communicate in the way that the Democratic Party has done, a brilliant move to go into Republican red districts, and they're getting very good welcomes because their own representatives are not turning up. So you're seeing this, you see this upside down world that we saw with the US election and allies being overturned, and you're starting to see the reality starting to bite. And in a way, there's a lot of upside down things that are occurring at the moment, including, as I said, with Democrats going into Republican territories. To me, this eclipse and the other eclipse in March is all about the birth of a new collective purpose. So in Pisces, as we're transitioning from Pisces to Aries, Pisces, of course, is the 12th house of the zodiac. And one would think that we've learnt during that process and during that journey. And of course, with all these planets moving now into Aries, Neptune and Saturn into Aries, we're starting to see something new forming. I want to say Jupiter in this eclipse chart is squaring Pluto. And so we're being challenged, I think, to understand the reality. Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius is often associated with technology and innovation, but we're being challenged to see the reality of this. And it's not just innovation for innovation's sake. We're seeing Tesla stocks falling. I heard someone describe Tesla stocks as like a meme stock, that people are banking on Elon Musk's innovation. But there's been nothing new in Tesla technology. And of course, Chinese technology is outpacing Tesla. Their cars are being charged much, much quicker than Tesla. There are new EVs on the market, and people are choosing to buy. It's not just the protest against Elon Musk, although that's a big part of it. It's also that Musk isn't keeping up with his innovation. Bill Gates, robots replacing doctors and teachers. I think he was silly enough to come out and announce there'd be that time. Of course, with AI and its evolution, we obviously are going to see, pardon me, a great deal of job loss, whether it is in factories or, I don't think AI's, AI can maybe diagnose, but will never replace the need for a doctor for examination and for that human to human contact. We're having to start to think very seriously about how we want to direct this innovation. We've already seen what the technocrats are capable of. Do we really want to hand over our futures to them? And so you're starting to see a responsibility coming into technology. You will start to see that in years to come. You'll start to see the seeds of it emerging now, and that we don't want it just driven for the wealth of others. We want a say in how that is going to be, and how we're going to use it, because it ultimately is we, the people, using it. Uranus, again, still in Taurus. There's been a series of shocks while Uranus has been in Taurus to the economy, whether it was the COVID economies, the period in between COVID and now, stagflation across the world. But we're going to be seeing more unexpected financial shocks in the next 6 months. That's an easy prediction, say tariffs, obviously. But I think it's in the timing of this. It seems that, we've seen the immaturity of the US government in so many ways. I think this again, we're going to see this reality that tariffs being introduced in a period of time, or at a time when the economy may not have been as robust as what it was, and it being the tip of the iceberg that tips everything toward this spiraling downturn. And this is all happening at the time that Mars is in Cancer, where our heightened feelings, and we're acting on our feelings, and we're communicating our feelings. And of course there is a trine to the Neptune and Mercury, again very potently. What have we created? What have we manifested, and do we want that? And I'm thinking, I'm seeing very clearly that we don't want that. Nothing can be assumed, nothing can be taken for granted. Mark Carney is up in the polls. They had predicted a Trudeau landslide loss, and for the opposition party to rise. That's now turned around. We see Trump plummeting in the polls. We've got all the evidence that change is upon us, and that people power actually can change the course of the present and shape the future. And that is the power of Pluto in Aquarius. No one can stop this energy. When I tuned in for today's reading, it's swirling, it's brightly coloured, it's multicoloured. We are definitely birthing something new. And I think that the eclipse chart holds all of that information within it. To finish today's reading, rather long reading, again, the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Let's see. Could I have the energies of the eclipse? It's almost like there were kind of like a council of elders, and around their meeting table there was this, like, think of the rings of Saturn, but they were multicoloured, and there was like a surging of energy through, and I did get the impression that this will be a time of rebirth. All right, so we have the power to direct our future, and no one can stop that. Okay, so let's also want to say, just before I pull, just in a prediction I made about something under the ground being found in Egypt, that would have a big bearing on our future. It's like a relic or something that, you remember that prediction? Well, they found pillars underneath one of the pyramids in Egypt, which seems to indicate there was an advanced proof, positive evidence that there was an ancient civilization that was very, very, very advanced. I'll put a link. It's fascinating. I'll put a link to that. That has implications because we learn things from studying those structures. Okay. What is the eclipse here? Again, the discovery coming at the time of the eclipses. Important events happen at the time of eclipses. All right, so what can you show me for the collective in terms of the eclipse energies, please? Yeah, the Star card. Preparations come to fruition, net caster, throwing out our nets, and we have a real, to put it simply, a knack of getting it right sometimes. The Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic. So we're starting to see how powerful we really are in so many ways. Moving out of stagnation, yeah. So this is a period of change and newness and beloved radical acceptance. There's just so much power in these cards for you, for me, for the people. Preparations come to fruition. Magician's Sword, moving out of stagnation, and beloved radical acceptance. Again, the faith that we have within ourselves, or authentic mask, many masks, the authentic self. The authentic self. We should never write ourselves off and heart home. Compassion then comes back into the frame. Okay, well, that is the reading for today. Thanks for tuning in, and bye for now. Thank you.